The Chief, how you doing, my man?
What's up, guy? I'm doing good.
Doing really good, my man. I want to talk about Road to the Title 3. What a crazy turn of events. We've seen the preview that you were in multiple scuffles in the house. Talk to me right off the bat. 20 plus guys, one house. What was that whole experience like?
Well, of course, you're just gonna have a shit ton of men that's actually cutting weight, haven't seen their family, and all that kind of stuff. So there's gonna be a lot of animosity within the house for sure.
Mhm.
Being in that kind of environment, I'm kind of used to it because I fight professionally. I've been around hot-headed people for a very long time. So the trash talk, I'm not. I'm here for it. I'm here for it all for sure. So it was a great experience overall.
Mhm. Talk to me. What was it like having your brother there?
Well, I was really happy that my brother was there because he also got to share that platform with me too. So it felt great that I knew someone that was there and that had my back too as well. But
Mhm.
to be honest, we're all men and I can handle myself for sure.
Did you get him into this or did he get you into it?
I got my brother into Power Slap, yeah. So that's been the question that's been circulating a lot. And I think someone asked me too on Instagram, like, "Hey, how did your brother get onto the show?" And I'm like, you know what? It all started from pure determination. And I think I had a match coming up for BKFC, or not BKFC, sorry, but BYB, bare knuckle boxing. And I turned that down, got out of my contract because I was offered a contract with Power Slap to compete. So after Power Slap, I believe 7 that I competed on against Joseph Landman,
Mhm.
I got to call immediately, like from America, and she was like, "Hey, we have an offer for you. Do you want to compete?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Say when." And so it was for a later date. I didn't know
Mhm.
like what event it was going to be for, but she said instead of that, she called me back instantly because she was like, "Hey, I got your brother onto the show and this and that." So I reached out to her. I was like, "Look, obviously you saw my brother because I brought him to be in my corner too as well, and just to fill it out, just to have that experience, right?"
Mhm.
And from there, she was like, "Who's that guy?" And I was like, "Oh, that's my brother." And she was like, "Does he compete too?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course. I mean, later on, let's talk about that." So we did, and that's how my brother got into the show.
Awesome. Real cool backstory. Getting to the show, unique experience. You're fighting on back-to-back weeks. We see all the changes. We see the sickness that went through the house, the injuries, people not getting cleared, foul disqualifications, facial or orbital bone fractures. I mean, talk to me about that entire mix. I know it's not totally uncommon. I know in some of the underground or lower level MMA stuff. They do tournament style things. I'm not sure if you've ever been involved in that, fighting back to back weeks and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
talk to me about the difficulty of that, and like how do you prepare yourself to get through round one, to be round two in a 7-day turnaround?
You just got to redirect your attention, whatever like fear that you are going through or whatever it is you're that
Mhm.
emotions that you are having. You have to redirect that in a positive way. And for me, I do it through training. So if you can just get out of your head and just get into the physical part of it, and
Mhm.
that will help you for your next match, especially
Yeah.
being on a big platform if you've never been on it before. For me, I'm used to it already, but for the other guys, I can't really speak for.
Yeah. I was actually in Vegas one time and they actually did an MMA tournament where they did 3 matches in one night to determine the winner of the tournament who got the contract. So it was actually only 2 5-minute rounds, then they determined the winner. And really it was a very odd experience because you had guys that were more or less it became who could obtain less damage to be able to move on but still win, to be able to make it to that third match. And everybody in the final, they were just gassed. It was the worst match of the night. But obviously Power Slap, we know that you can fight legally within a 7-day turnaround. So you get in there, all these guys, the mismatching around. And it's unique in a way that you're living with your competitor. You're living with the person that you're going to fight against. You have to see them. And we know very early on that there was a lot of friendships being made, season 1, season 2. Now we're seeing a lot more of a divide.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, everyone's seen, the fight with you and Brandon Kerr, which we'll talk about in a second. But talk about where now you're getting personal beefs with people, but you still have to live with that person. You still have to be in transit with that person, etc. Talk to me about all that, and how do you, mentally separate it when you know that, like, hey, this is war, and I'm sure as a true warrior that you are and competitor, that every time you see that person, you're like, I wish I could just get it done now.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? That's what I mean about getting out of your head. If you can just like focus your attentions to training. For me, my goal to come into that house was to just take over. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
who you were, what, like whatever ranking that you were. I was there for a reason. This, I keep saying it. This is the chief show. So I mean, you have to set yourself up for success, not for failure. And
Mm-hmm.
everything that you're doing is with pure intention. So with me coming into the house, knowing that I'm going to be living with a guy that I'm going to be competing against,
Mm-hmm.
I completely blocked that part out. But from what I heard with with that chump, he's rubbing shoulders the wrong way in the house with a lot of people. So it wasn't just me.
Mm-hmm. So how did it all start, and then to that tipping point where we seen you guys start to slap each other, which I thought was interesting. You guys didn't punch each other; you guys slapped each other to start. So give me the backstory.
It's fucking hilarious. I mean, I love it because a lot of people are like, "Hey, he's living that life, right?" And I see the
Yeah,
comments, I see all that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
the backdrop to that was, I was brought into the house, right? Me and the Fantastic Four, me and the rest of the buddies that came into the house.
Mm-hmm.
We had a blast, and we knew that we were coming into the house with other people that are going to be liquored up and have that liquor courage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we had to go into the house with that dog mentality, where it's kill or be killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, when I came into the house, I made it clear that this is my house. I'm taking over the place, right? And they asked me, I think the production, they're like, "Hey, do you want to like put your name on the board?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course. Let's see who my next victim is, right?" So
Mm-hmm.
I said those words specifically. Let's see who my next victim is. So when I was putting my name onto the board, I heard a little bird just chirping in the back, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy talking shit?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't really care. I wasn't. I followed the fights. I had the privilege, to watch most of the fights beforehand, before they started airing some of it, and I got to see, someone that was flinching fucking incredibly, and that's how he lost, and not just once, twice, three times flinched.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up with the name with the buddies, with Darius and Kryptonian and Waylon, and I came up with the name Master Flincher.
Yeah.
So that's the only way I knew of that kid. I did not know his name. I didn't care about his name. I didn't even care about him still.
Mm-hmm.
So when I put my name on the board, he started chirping in the background, and I turned around, and then Darius was like, "Hey, buddy, that's the Flincher. That's the guy that you call the Flincher." And I'm like, "That's who he is, the Flincher." So if you saw the episode, I was
Yeah.
calling him out on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he got really hot headed to a point where, and I told him straight up, like, "Dude, you are not on my level. Like, if you think that you can handle a strike from me, you are tripping." I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I gave him 40% on the second slap that was delivered in the house, and that wasn't my 100%. Like, I should have ended that kid's fucking career then and there.
Mm-hmm.
So this kid doesn't have a future. That's it.
Yeah.
But other
Yeah.
than that, he's just really good at trash talk. And I
Yeah.
believe he said this on another show or a interview. I'm not sure if it was on here, but he was talking about him being a gamer, a professional gamer, and that's all he does is trash talk. So, dude, shout out to you for that gift that you have of talking shit. But other than that, this is a man's world. You're gonna get knocked out or you're gonna get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So you're picking a fight with the wrong person.
100%. I mean, a lot of stuff happened there. You guys got on top of each other. People are coming in trying to restrain you. Someone's holding you down on the ground, and you get soccer kicked in the face.
Yeah, fucking Luke. Damn, Luke. But to be honest, that kick was nowhere near my face. Like, if you really slowed it
Okay.
down, it barely even grazed me. It went right past me. And for him to keep saying that he knocked me out, dude, that's how I know that you're a soccer player and you should just stick to what you're doing, because
Mhm.
if you actually know what a knockout is, it's when you put someone unconscious, out,
Mhm.
lights out, right? So he's just building the hype around the name because he has nothing else to do and he just wants some TV time.
Mhm. Obviously that happens. I'm assuming they separate you. You know, I mean, I guess we'll find out in the next episode what actually happens, but we'll just say you guys separate for now. At that point, how hard is it for you to get mentally focused for what's to come and your next opponent?
Well, I was hoping it was going to be Brandon, for sure,
Mhm.
because I just want, like I said, I was going to end this kid's career and just, he was never going to ever walk the earth again.
Mhm.
But preparing for my next victim, damn, like I didn't really know who he was until after. And, like he's a swell guy and he deserves a spot on the show for sure. And that's the
Mhm.
reason why we're here. We're here because we're utilizing the platform to tell our story, our struggles, and the things that we've gone through,
Mhm.
and that's a type of person that deserves a spot on the show. Not
Mhm.
a kid that's just picking a fight with everyone on the house. But
100%.
mentally prepared, I was about to kill my victim, my next opponent, to be honest,
Yeah,
with the animosity that Brandon Kerr brought out of me. So
absolutely, man. All right, one last one for you. I want to clarify for everyone. Who's the Fantastic Four of Road to the Title season 3?
the Fantastic Four is Darius, the Destroyer, Kryptonian, Alan Klingbeil,
Mhm.
and Waylon Frost, and myself.
Okay,
So
okay.
we came
It
up with that name because we had a blast. We couldn't actually do as much because we had a short window of time to do so. But
okay.
we had a blast. We had a great time. Vegas is Sin City, right? So
Yeah,
it's going to bring out the best of you, right?
100%, my
Or
man.
the worst.
Yeah, I guess that city can do it to you for sure. But I appreciate you joining me talking this. I know we're going to have you back real soon because we're going to see you up there again in the show. And until then, stay good and look forward to the evolution of your slap career, my man.
Thank you, Corey.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Take care.